So recently, the Kamen Rider franchise has been getting a lot of content over on the Toei Tokusatsu fan club streaming service. From Revice specials to Geats specials, we have a lot that's been going on there. And of course, we've had Kamen Rider Outsiders, which is an ongoing special that is a massive crossover between a number of different Rider shows. So today here, I kind of just want to talk about some of the more recent specials, kind of give some slight brief thoughts on them, before we kind of move over to a Patreon exclusive live stream clip that I did last month, where I kind of talked about Kamen Rider Outsiders and shared my thoughts on what's going over there on that front, because it's a wild time. So the most recent specials that just wrapped up over there on the streaming service were the Revice special of Juuga vs. Ortega and the Kamen Rider Geats Extra Punk Jack special. So at the time of this video, I have not yet seen the Geats special, the Punk Jack one, but I did watch the Juuga vs. Ortega one, and I have my boy Juuga right here. The little soda figure. I love Juuga. I love George's character. And while I didn't finish Revice, I thought this would be a fun special to watch. I had absolutely no idea going into the special that it was going to be a Drive crossover. I still don't really know why that's the case. I think a long time ago, I might have talked about it. I don't even know if I did, but I did a video at some point in 2022 about the Juuga driver and how it read the rider names with the Vice stamps and not just the animals, or really not the animals at all. And when the toy came out, people were hacking that to see if like all the show riders or any of the show riders were in there. They weren't necessarily, but what was in there was Kamen Rider Mach and Chaser from Drive, and we actually got to see those stamps this time around. They actually did use those. So it was the Planetarian, or that's not the name of a Planetarian, or whatever the plant was, and then I think it was one of the other like Gift X stamps from the early days of Revice. Those two stamps were purified and turned into the Mach and Chaser stamps in this special. Geats is getting a lot of content now that I think is really, really exciting. So the other thing I want to talk about here today was the two Geats specials. So I haven't watched the Punk Jack one yet that is out, where they finally gave Punk Jack the beat buckle, which always kind of fit his character a little bit more than Monster, because he showed up like, we know that he has a guitar, and he kind of just has like that rock kind of dude personality, so him using beat definitely really, really works in this case. But we have a special that's coming out later in June. I think it's like the third weekend of June, sometime like around the 18th, I think it was the 18th. We're getting Kamen Rider Tycoon meets Kamen Rider Shinobi, which is just such a cool thing. I had to dig out my soda figure of Shinobi from a couple years ago to celebrate the occasion. There he is. Star Ninja's actor himself is returning to be Shinobi, and they also got, even though I don't think we saw the suit in the trailer, but Hatari is also coming back from the Shinobi special. And this is cool for a multitude of reasons. So when it was first announced, it was just announced as a Tycoon and Shinobi crossover special that was going to use, in classic TTFC and Kamen Rider new form fashion, was going to give Tycoon a brand new ninja form based off of Shinobi that is just taking the Waz featuring Shinobi armor from Geo, repainting it slightly and giving it to Tycoon, and then repainting his ninja buckle purple, which we know is getting a premium Bandai release thanks to a leak list that I talked about last week. Kamen Rider Shinobi was a future rider that was introduced in Geo. Basically Geo dealing with time travel and ride watches and everything. So what they did for him though is what they said, that Shinobi came from the year 2022. So technically, if Shinobi was to become a real show, or if it was a real show, it would have been the Rider show that's airing right now. It would have been the one that started in 2022 and would be wrapping up in 2023, and Geats would have never existed. Obviously, that's not the case. Shinobi was created just to be a character for the purposes of selling more stuff in Geo, and to kind of introduce the idea of riders from the future, and not just riders from the past for the anniversary celebration. So it was a cool concept, and a lot of people joked that, oh, well, we don't need a new trademark for 2022 anymore, because we know it's just going to be Shinobi, and obviously they didn't make an entire Shinobi series. But this whole thing right here with this special is that it's playing into the bit that Shinobi was the show the whole time, because the TTFC like announcement was saying that this is basically going to be, catch the 46th episode of Shinobi premiering on TTFC on June 18th, where he meets Tycoon. And so they're pretending like this is just like a new episode of Kamen Rider Shinobi. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they do like a whole intro or something and just pretend that this has been the show the whole time, which is really, 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 really funny. I love that so much. And it ties together with Geats pretty fun. But not only that, if Shinobi and Tycoon weren't enough, we're like, okay, well, we have some other ninja riders in the franchise. Let's have a big ninja reunion. So we're getting Kamen Rider Z Cross back with his original actor, who's returning for the first time in a decade, since he appeared in the Kamen Rider Tyson film back in 2014 during Gaim. We're also getting Kamen Rider Fuma back from X-Aid, or at least the suit of it, and Kamen Rider Kenzan from Saber. So we have this whole ninja lineup here. We have Shinobi and Hatari coming back himself, And also, speaking of that, connecting back to Kamen Rider Geo and everything, the main villain looks to be another rider of another Hitari, or of Kamen Rider Hitari. So we're getting some Geo connections, we're getting some Tycoon Geats connections, we're getting some connections with Saber and X-Aid and Z-Cross. So it's another one of those classic TTFC cases of crossing over a bunch of rider shows together. And I'm so excited for this thing. This is amazing. I love that they're playing into the bit. I love that they're acknowledging the joke. I can't believe the Shinobi suit still exists for being a kit bash. I mean, even his driver is not unique. It's just the Jiku driver with a shuriken on it. But it is a cool suit. And this is awesome. I like it a lot. So I cannot wait for this special. And then coming out in July is going to be the next episode of Kamen Rider Outsiders. And Kamen Rider Outsiders is a wild thing. So I did a little, in my Patreon live stream back at the end of April, I did a little discussion about Kamen Rider Outsiders that I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys right now. I wanted to talk about Kamen Rider Outsiders because this thing is just wild. And one of these things is really old, as per the theme of tonight's news. And one of these things is only 3 weeks old. So not that bad. But we have Kamen Rider Outsiders is doing this. It's that special on TTFC. It's been bringing back a ton of really random antagonist rider characters, giving them new forms or making them Kamen Riders. And it's been connecting so many shows together in the most convolutedly beautiful ways ever that I adore what this series is. I've heard it's a complete mess. I've actually personally haven't seen much of it other than certain clips of it, but it's the kind of complete chaos that I want and love from TTFC. They know how to bring their complete nonsense up to this franchise. So yeah, as Comic said, my knowledge of it stops at the Master Rider Power Rangers crossover. Very, very fair. But yeah, because this TTFC special, this Toei Tokusatsu fan club special, has tied together now Ryuki, Faiz, Blade kind of, Decade kind of, Drive, X-Ed, 01, Saber. So at least 8 shows have been connected because of this special, most of which don't have any right to be connected. They just do it anyway. But I just had to say something about it because this on the left we have Kamen Rider Disaster, which is taking a villain from Saber from 2 years ago and making him a rider, which looks really cool. And then we have, that was from episode 2, because they've been doing that too. So there's been 3 episodes so far, in episode 0 and episode 1 and episode 2, which I know is kind of confusing. But they've been released over the span of months. So the first one I think was in October or November. The second one was in January, and we just got the second episode, which was the third one. I know it's weird. Last month. And on the right here, we have Kamen Rider Bronze Drive. So in the show, in the series of Drive, we had a gold drive as the final villain for the show, and there was a silver drive in one of the DVD specials. So now we have a bronze drive because why not? Also, I don't think there was a single hint that Drive was going to be connected into this whole nonsense until they showed off the teaser for the next episode, which is where this is going to debut coming out in July. And they're just how about we throw Drive in there too? What Outsiders has been doing is that over the last couple of years, there's been these specials on the Toei Tokusatsu fan club streaming service where it's been spin-off specials for just a bunch of different random shows. And this has been going on for nearly a decade. And for some reason, a lot of them end in cliffhangers. I don't know why they keep doing that, because they don't ever follow up on these specials. They just keep making more spin-off specials that just don't have any resolution to these cliffhangers. So for Outsiders, they said, okay, well, how about we do this? How about we make one brand new special that just is a free-for-all? We'll just bring everybody back, and they are resolving the cliffhangers. Resolving, and I put in air quotes because they're just kind of doing more content. They're doing a series where it's going back to all of those older spin-offs and either following up with them or just kind of picking up where they left off. So there's just kind of complete chaos happening. So that's why there's 8 shows involved in this thing so far. I think it's so wonderfully terrible. It's incredible. So I mean, I very much appreciate the effort, effort is also a strong word. I appreciate the thought of them going back to these specials and actually deciding to do something with it. But I swear, because the thing about this too is that since it's coming out every couple months, we have no idea actually how long this series is going to be. So episode 1 was kind of the point of it was to sort of resolve a crossover spin-off special, which I know is a whole other thing, between X8 and 01 from 2 years ago. So that resolved that, I think. I hope so.
And then we had episode 1, which was the second episode. I sound crazy explaining this. And now on the right here, we have Bronze Drive, which I'm personally hoping is going to be the resolution to a cliffhanger from a special from 2019. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. I don't even know if they know what they're doing. I know that Bandai knows what they're doing because every time one of these episodes has come out, they've released new merchandise because they keep repainting things or they keep introducing new forms or characters. So I wouldn't say everybody wins, but kind of, because like Bandai makes more merch, fans get more content, and I guess you sort of get a resolution. So it's complete chaos. But I had to talk about it at some point because I've never seen anything like it, where it's just so needlessly convoluted. It's fantastic. But yeah, as Comic said, I definitely don't need to jump into this. Yeah, I don't even know where you would. Because like every special is assuming that you've A, seen the show that it's having a crossover with, and B, seen the special that it's sort of a sequel to. So yeah, that's Kamen Rider Outsiders, whatever that is. And then we have this.
Let me know down in the comments below, have you watched any of these TTFC specials? What TTFC specials do you want to see? I'm still rooting for that April Fool's joke, or whatever joke it was, of Rogue versus Mad Rogue from Kamen Rider Build. They've made April Fool's jokes into actual specials before. It's definitely something TTFC has done a couple times, actually, so it's certainly possible. But that's all going to do it here today. Just want to talk about TTFC and Rider, and some of this news was already a little old anyway, but I don't know, it's fun, and I really want to talk about it. So, of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LiveRangerKey, or LandonVicPR, and I will see you all later. To wrap up this video, I'd like to thank my $5 and above patrons: Jurassic Samurai, Magnet Alchemist, Robert Browning, Static Thunder, Brendan Overland, Maji Yellow, MCPC Studios, Comics 1017, James Darty, John Luke, Eric Berry, Tyler Bezetsky, Matthew Thorne, Josh Landry, Pyramidas, CPT Tesla, Cross SCV, Caboose Ed, Socket Monsters, Anthony Love, Daniel Pika, Hella Geo, Thrasher, Jesus Prime, and Uni Warrior Thomas. You can support Toku Topics for as little as $1 a month on my Patreon, linked in the description below.